and welcome to this special Hoops and Dreams podcast as we review the QPR kits for 2022 to 23. It's always a special day in the calendar when the kits are released, and we're going to share our thoughts, give them a rating out of 10. And of course, you can give your ratings in out of 10 in the comments and on our forum. I'm James, and I'm joined by two podcast debutantes tonight, and that's Frankie and Sam. Thank you both for coming on.
Thank you.
Sharing your thoughts. So a bit of context, it's the 6th season that we've had with Area supplying the kits. That puts them equal third with Lotto now in being our longest time supplier, just behind Adidas and Le Coq Sportif. They started in 2017-18, and I think for the most part, they've done a good job. 1920 was one of my favourite kits with the gold embellishments. And of course, last season, everybody loved the kits. They were universally loved, and it has to be said that the club have had a hard act to follow with the kits this season. I've thought all week that they're going to be in for some stick. Are they? We're going to find out. Nothing splits the crowd like a kit at the best of times. People can argue about a collar, a V-neck, the colour, the tone, anything can get an argument going about kits. So let's see how they've done for 22-23 with the QPR ones. Let's take a look at the home kit first. And it's a little bit of a departure from recent years because it's just two colours. There's no different colour for the trim, as you can see. It's just blue and white. And for the first time on a QPR kit that I'm aware of, it's actually got a little white line running through each hoop. Primarily white at the top of the kit, which seems to be a theme in recent years. So, Frankie, I'll go with you first. The home kit, your thoughts?
To be honest, I am a fan of the home kit. I think it is a bit more of a retro-looking one, and there is quite a lot of white on the shoulders, but it isn't something I'm not against with the white on the shoulders. I quite like how that design is, because we've had the Influence kit. That was pretty nice with it. We had it from 2 seasons ago. That one was all right. But to be honest, I think overall, it's not a bad kit. It's not the best in the world or the best we've ever had, but overall, still going to buy it. I think it's lovely.
Sam?
I think, I mean, I don't hate it, but I think it's, I'm a little bit disappointed. I think there's features they've brought in that look nice. I like the new sponsor looks quite nice, and I do like This sort of additional thin blue line atop either side of the hoops. But I think the white shoulders I'm not a fan of. I like a bit of blue on the top, sort of extra hoop if you like. I think I don't really know why, because they've been this is 3 in a row. You mentioned that they've done that with, and I think there's no third colour. And I like having gold. I mean, I know we'll talk about the away one in a minute, but I like having gold on the kits, and I think the gold numbers. James, you mentioned it in the intro with the gold numbers. I took it here as a prop. It just looks so nice. The trim, this little thing, the trim on the sleeve having a collar, and around the collar, it's having that sort of third color. Just I think makes such a difference, and I think they're sort of missing this. So yeah, I'd say I do like it. It's clean, sponsor's nice, but I think there's a lot more they could have done with it. I don't want to be too negative. But
yeah, I don't think it's being negative. I think we're just saying it's a decent kit, isn't it? I completely agree with you. I think they should have had the 2 lines down the side should have been gold with the bit in the middle between it blue. So there was a bit more blue in the top part of the kit. They could have even had the little cuff on the end, like you're saying, gold or red, whatever they wanted, even navy or something. It just feels like them just going with 2 colours. Yes, it's nice and clean and a classic kind of kit, but it just doesn't stand out as much to me as some of the recent kits have. What would you give it out of 10 then, Frankie?
I went with a 6 out of 10. Like, kind of middle of the park, solid. It's not bad, it's not good. One negative I have with it, though, is with the little lines in between the hoops, one right at the collar, it just cuts in the middle of it. Just feel like if that went straight through, Well, it's not taking away a
I think
point,
that's
but I just think it looks a bit odd, out of place, just one random little scratch in the middle. But overall, 6 out of 10, solid, does its job, looks like a QPR kit.
So,
I think I'd say 6 out of 10 as well, definitely. Just sort of what he said. It's I can't really give it anything higher or anything lower. It's just pretty average. I mean, this is average for a high standard that Area has set, as you said, but it's just a bit basic. And I think they've in order to get more than 6 out of 10 would have probably had to be doing a bit more with it in terms of colouring and stuff like that, and getting maybe a collar, bit of blue on the top. Something like that could have elevated it, but yeah, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet it's going to be a full house because I'd give it a 6 as well. And I think a lot of people would, because it's like what we're all saying. It's just, there's something about it where it doesn't separate itself from the crowd a little bit. I don't know how to word it. It's just a decent kit. That's the only way I can think of describing it. It will sell. Yeah, safe. People will like it. It's a nice kit. People will buy it. I just think the bar has been very high. And I'd still argue they haven't made a bad kit. It's just this will be on the probably on the lower curve when we look back in a few years on it. So onto the away kit, very Barcelona-esque. I can see Frankie's got his Barcelona colours there. That's the colours we're going with. So it's claret, blue. It's navy, isn't it? Is it claret? Maybe some people have seen it already.
I don't think it's much of a claret. I'm not too sure. Actually, it might be. Seeing it in person will probably help more, but it's definitely not the same shade as this one, that's for sure.
No. On the official site it says claret, but it's more of like a maroony plum colour. Even in some lights at the launch it looked almost like a purpley pinky colour. But the gold in particular, I love. Sam said it as well. I love gold embellishment on the kits. I think we all agree on that. I'll come to you first on the away kit, Sam. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was busy at the start of the kit launch, and I just I tuned into it whilst I was on my way home from some five-a-side, and I initially saw it. It was just Ilya standing there. I was like, oh my god, what the hell have they done with this? But I looked at it a bit more, and it really grew on me. And I think I'd say the thing with the gold is, without the gold, this is an awful kit. The gold just really draws it together, and I think I like still having hoops on an away kit. I'm a big fan of. I like sort of like it. We are the hoops. It's the Hoops and Dreams podcast. It's when you're at an away game and you're wearing a shirt that doesn't have any hoops on it, it's not really the same, is it? But yeah, I do like it. I think yeah, it's striking. It's more risky than the home one, which is a bit more safe. I think it fits together a lot more nicely, and just the gold. I'm a big fan of what we've been doing in recent years, putting the gold on. I think it really sort of started with the 1921 that I brought out earlier, and that the gold numbers just went so well there, and then we had the gold on the one that I'm wearing now, and that Frankie's just brought out in the background. And they couldn't have not done any gold, and I think they've done it really nicely here.
Frankie?
See, I brought this shirt out because I'm looking at it on my laptop, and I'm looking at this one in person. I still don't think we're topping this one back here. But the new one, I'm a really big fan. That'll be the first thing I try and grab in that game against Crystal Palace when they're finally out. But overall, I remember when it got leaked and fans weren't exactly happy with it. But back then, everyone thought it was going to be a Dennis the Menace type shirt. I'm happy with the colours they've went with, Barcelona type colours. I think it's really clean. Obviously, it's the same template as the home shirt, but different colours and without the gap in between not the gap, but like the white line in the blue stripes, hoops, sorry. But overall, very solid kit. I'm a massive fan of it. When I saw Ilya's chair come out, I thought, that is something different. That's really nice. I know, we'll get into our number ratings in a minute.
Yeah, I actually agree with something Sam just said, where I'm looking at it again, and if you take away the gold, I don't think it's even anywhere near as nice of a kit. The gold really does make it. My initial instinct when I saw it was I thought it's a fantastic kit. I was initially thought, wow. The colours, I suppose, do take a little bit of getting used to, but the club have been open before and said that the Dennis the Menace kits just do not sell. And the away kits at the moment is obviously where they're trying to be a little bit creative. And in most years, they're getting it right. They're selling well. And I think this one will sell very well again. Whether it sells as much as last year's, where it was hot property, I don't think it'll be quite up there, as we'll maybe now see with our ratings. Sam, what are you giving it out of 10?
I'm going to say 8.5, and that's with a precedent that last year's was a 10 out of 10, and 8.5 just very nice. They pushed the boat out. They've hit the mark. I'm a big fan. Yeah, the color gold. I'm a sucker for the color gold. Yeah, so it sort of makes you think of first position. Who knows? But yeah, 8.5 out of 10.
Thank you.
Can't do that to me saying about coming first. Oh, you get me too excited. Overall, I'd say 9 out of 10. And again, this away kit is definitely a 10 out of 10. I didn't think in reality we'd come close to a kit as good, but it's close, not perfect. But like you said, with the gold, without the gold, if it was like a white or something like that, it wouldn't look as nice. But I think we've done a really good job here. Yeah, 9 out of 10, I'd say.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to go with an 8, only because I just don't think it's quite as good as I love the mint green one we had a couple of years ago. I thought that was outstanding kit as well. I'm going to go with an 8. You two saying higher ratings made me doubt myself. I'm going to stick with my 8 that I was going to give it before. But yeah, it's a really nice kit. I look forward to seeing it on the green pitches. I'm sure it'll look really nice. And I agree with what you're both saying. Is I hope the club stick with gold as like a theme of our trim, because we hadn't seen it up until a couple of years ago. But it really is a good colour to have, and obviously they've always primarily gone with red. I prefer the gold. I agree with you, Sam, especially that you're saying about the gold. I hope it becomes a theme as we go forward in the coming years. The goalkeeper kit we'll move on to. This one is very, very reminiscent of a goalie kit. We had a Joe Lumley one from 18-19. It's almost the same template. They've just done the lines a different way on the thing. It's always nice when you get the goalie kit and it tries to incorporate hoops. They've gone with light blue embellishments on the lines and at the end of the cuffs. Frankie, your thoughts on the goalie kit?
Do you know what? When it came out, I really liked it. The navy with the I don't know how to describe it, the Man City type blue. But
Sky blue.
I agree with you. Hoops on a goalkeeper shirt for QPR is a win. That's what we should be doing. Hoops throughout all the kits. Because as a club, that's who we kind of are. Our kits, trying to think back, how many home and away haven't had hoops? Only that turquoise number you said, and the red one from 2 seasons back. The hoops are nice. I like what they've done, though, that they haven't gone full colour with it. It's the diagonal lines with the light blue. Just think it is quite clean. When I saw that, I did get worried that we'd have that template for all the kits, but thankfully we don't. I think it works for the keeper kit, though.
Yeah, I like it. I think the interesting thing about goalkeeper kits that I always think is they obviously don't sell commercially anywhere near as much as the home and away kits. And when you're going into a season with a nailed on first choice keeper, the kit is sort of really being made for one person, and I think it just suits Senny really well. It looks very good on him. I don't know. I'm trying to imagine like David Marshall in it, or maybe I'm overthinking it, but I just think I think it's clean. It's not overly dramatic like when Bristol City did those absolutely insane ones a couple of years ago.
They've still got them now.
They do that. I mean, yeah. We saw a Bristol City goalkeeping masterclass from Bentley this season, so maybe that's sort of sticking in my mind. But yeah, I like just simple, keeping the hoops. And yeah, I think it's it's not my number one concern. But and I think that's similar for a lot of people. But I think to just make it safe, nice, it's I like it, and I'd won't say my rating now. I'll wait for that. But yeah.
Well, last season the club made a bit of a mistake. I always thought with the goalkeeper kit, because the home kit was just plain black goalkeeping kit with gold on it or yellow on it, and it clashed with our own away kit, and it clashed with a lot of the team's home kits. Also, we actually wore most of the season the goalkeeper the purple kit, which was the third choice keeper kit, which wasn't even available to buy. So it was very odd.
We also had that sky blue and pink one. That one was...
Yeah, but again, the one the home one, they didn't wear nearly as much as one you couldn't even buy, so they shot themselves in the foot. I think this one will be. You're saying about goalkeeping kits selling. I think this one will sell quite well for a goalkeeping kit. It's about as good as you can get really for a goalie kit. I know some people say we should have green, but they obviously seem to always favour us having a dark keeper kit because they have that most years, don't they? Your rating then, Frankie, for the goalie kit?
First thing I want to say though, if they release a short sleeve version of the shirt, I definitely think that will sell more. People aren't too fond of long sleeves, so I think if they did a short sleeve version, which half the time Sonny Dieng wears anyways, I think that would sell more. But I went with an 8 on Twitter, but I'm going to push it back down to a 7.
Now you've had time to think about it.
Yeah.
Sam?
I'll say 7.5. I think something that just came into my head as we were speaking is I think maybe the reason behind having the more predominantly white home kit is so they can get away with having a navy goalkeeper kit, because otherwise it's if it's more blue than white, maybe that's more of a clash. I don't know. The EFL are so weird about kit clashes, anyways. But no, I think 5. It's slightly exceeds my expectations for a goalkeeper kit. So yeah, that's what I'll say.
Yeah, I think I'll go with a 7 as well. I just like that it's got hoops. Whether it's going to still clash with the away kit when you look at it, so then I'd be interested to see what the alternative versions of it are going to be. I go with a 7. Overall, I think they've done a good job with the kits. None of them are bad kits. They're nice, happy to wear them, buy them. What about you overall there, Sam?
For all three, well, it's a bit of quick maths here. I'll give overall about 7.5. Yeah, I think. No, do you know what? Overall 8, because having a nice away kit just I mean, away kit is it. You mentioned that away kit's the one they try and do something with, and away kit's the one that people generally sort of look out for these days in kit launches, I think. And I liked what they did with it. I like the fact they did it differently from last year. And I think if you're going to push the boat out on the home or the away kit, do it on the away kit. So I think the way they sort of balance it out. I'd be interested to see the other goalkeeping kits, because you pointed out that the distribution of first, second, third kit for last season with the goalkeepers was not what you might expect. But yeah, I'd say 8 out of 10. I'm happy with it.
Thank you.
I think I've got to agree with an 8 out of 10. Overall, if you actually do the maths, I think it's around a 7, but 8 out of 10. The away one, like, is it Sam? Yeah, Sam said. It is the one that you have to go out with, going with something different, because you can't really do that with the home, because if you mess it up, you got to deal with that most of the season. You wear the home kit more than you wear the away. So I think with what we've done anyways, I think it was a great way to go out there. We've had the pink kit, the turquoise, the black and gold, the red was before that, but that's not really anything out there. Now we've got this Barcelona type shirt. Well, it's more like a Barcelona shirt than their own home one this season. But yeah, overall 8 out of 10. Home shirt does its job. Away shirt, beautiful. Goalkeeper shirt with the hoops, lovely.
Yeah, I think my average on the maths worked out as a 7, but I think I go 7.5 overall. I think they've done a very solid job. I think most people are going to be happy. Probably a little bit down from last year, but they were never going to match that, like we said at the start. Let us know your thoughts, viewers, in the comments on our forum. What are your ratings, feelings on the kits? Thank you, Frankie and Sam, for sharing your thoughts. Brilliant contributions. We'll be back with another podcast soon from Hoops and Dreams. Come on, you R's.
We know who we are. You know who we are. We are QPR.